Hi, this is Robert with Pioneer Smokehouses, and today we have the introduction of the Masterbuilt Charcoal 40-inch smoker. This smoker has same kind of controls that you would find in the Gravity Series smoker, and it basically runs off of charcoal, and you can mix wood chunks in along with it to add a little bit more wood smoke flavor. The specifications on this smoker for total cooking surface with the included grill racks is 1,320 square inches. So that's a lot of space. It's very similar to the full-size Masterbuilt electric 40-inch smoker, but here you're gonna get that authentic taste. So today we're gonna go through it, we're gonna open it up, and we're gonna take a look at it, and then I'll season it. And then we'll start using it. Before I do the actual review, written up review, I will do at least 10 cooks on it, and some of those I'll record and some of those I won't. But the link for the review will be in this in this video by the time I put it out there. So we'll go ahead and start opening it up and go from there. So I'll be back in 1 second. All right, so I went ahead and removed the box. I wouldn't normally do this, but I totally cut the box off of the unit. I took a look on the inside so I could see where the foam was, and there was foam on all the corners. So I literally just took my box cutter and corner cut it. And if you're not, shall I say, a professional at using a box knife, I would recommend that you just open it like normal or just rip it apart. This box had gotten wet because it's been really rainy here and still is. And so for me, I was able just to kind of corner cut it and then pull those corners apart. But let's just take a look real quick here. And so when it comes out of the box, the feet are all packed. And if you can see inside the window here, I'm going to take the sticker off, and I'll have to clean that up later. It's probably just a little bit of rubber cement or something to hold this on there. Yeah, it's actually two-sided tape. There you go. This comes right off of here when you just pull on it really hard. And you'll see inside that there's all the parts. So there's a couple of boxes in there and everything. So I'll go ahead and open that up, and I'll organize that out, and then I'll take a little picture of that so you can get a better idea. But that'll take me a couple minutes, so I'll be right back. All right, so I tore this whole thing apart, and I put a lot of the pieces over here on the table, and I gave everything a look. And I did find one piece that was damaged in freight, but I went ahead and fixed that. It just took a second, and I'll just tell you about it real quick. This piece here is pop riveted on, and I just reattached it. So that's not a big deal for me, but I wanted to point it out so that way you as a viewer knew that it happened. So you see this table over here has a bunch of the parts spread out, and I've taken a look through it. And in the first parts of the user's manual, you'll find a parts diagram, and then you'll find hardware diagram. And the hardware is almost always just on one of these little bust out sheets, which is really convenient. What I normally do is once I start the project is that I just rip the backs of these off, and you can see here that there is numbers on there which describes what each piece is, so that way when you're referencing them in your manual, you'll be able to tell. If you buy it at a big box store or something like that, a lot of times they'll be pre-assembled. They'll have a company come in and put together like 50 of them or whatever. So they kind of get an idea, or they've done it before and they know what's going on. But I'm not going to walk you through every single step of this, but I want you to see here that, like I said, I opened the whole thing up in here, and it's basically a empty shell, and you can get a good look of how empty everything is. So there is step-by-step instructions here, and it starts by setting up some of the electronics for the blower motor, and then it sets up the feet. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the camera off, and when I do that, I'll flip this over and I'll start working on those things. It almost always has you start on the bottom, especially since the feet are there. You'll put together those kind of parts, and then you'll put the feet on and then flip it back over and work on it from there. So I'll see you in a second. All right, so we're back, and what I've done here is I've assembled the bottom part of the smoker. And so we put in like a bellows or whatever they call it, a tube. Sorry, that was probably the wrong term. And then here is the blower motor with its tube connecting to it. And then we've got our controls here and our feet here. So first you attach the feet, and then you attach the brackets, and then you put on the wheels. If you have a stationary location that you're going to use this, or you just want it to be more stable, I would recommend that you don't use the wheels, but that's up to you. Something else that I want to make sure that you do is that when you start out putting something like this together, read through all the directions just to take a quick skim and check it all out. Because when I went through the directions, I realized that it was going to have me get back underneath the smoker to plug in all the electrical wires. And I thought to myself, I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So I went ahead and assembled the wires. So I did steps 1 through 4, and then I skipped ahead to step 12, and then I'm going to go back to 5. Now there might be some sort of reason that it wants you to do it that way. So, you know, by all means, you do what you feel is best for you. For me, I decided to go ahead and attach all the wires, and of course I followed the directions in the book for how to do it. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video again, and we're going to flip it over. And actually, I'm going to flip it over. Trust me, if you have a friend, you should find one for these kind of things. It'll make your time go faster, but it will also be easier to do things like flip it up. With this one and the Gravity Series 560 that I put together, it was really easy. But with the 1050, the thing was really heavy, and so I kind of had to shimmy it around a little bit, and I actually used the foam blocks to roll it over on. So always when you're putting together something large, find a friend. And it's even down to holding a wrench with a nut or something like that. It's just so much easier with 2 people. So anyway, I'll be back in a second after I complete the next few steps. All right, so I completed the next few steps, which includes adding the handles and loading out all the interior parts, including the firebox and the drip tray and then the shelves. I positioned the shelves like this. That's not exactly what the directions say, but I'm going to start with it here, and then if you want to move them, you can move them around wherever you want. But my key thing is that I want to be able to slide some things in there, and then on the bottom, I'll probably, for my first couple of cooks, until I get a hang of it, I'll probably just put in a sheet of tinfoil like I normally would do and make a little disposable tray. You could also use a cookie sheet with a sheet of tinfoil on it. I recommend using something really inexpensive. So the next step was the doors, and I just went ahead and decided I'd do that on camera. So this is the bottom door, and it still needs the to get the handles on there. So I could do that down there, which is what the directions call for, but I'm not. I'm going to do it up here because I think it's going to be significantly easier. So the directions have the door handles going this way, and I'm just going to grab all of the screws. So if you're good at getting the screws to thread without cross threading, then you go ahead and use your electric drill. And the way I normally do that is I can do that with the first couple of them real easily by holding this up and then just going real slow, and then I've got it. So now then I'll take the second one, put that in here, and then just go real slow, and then there it is. By going really slow, you'll be able to feel right away if you're cross-threading, and then you can stop. So once I've gone through to where I have all 4 in, then I can just continue all the way to the bottom. I'm not cinching anything down really tight because these are built in. The threads are built in, so they're attached. They look similar to rivets, but they're just attached there. And so Then once I've done that, then I can go ahead and line this up and put this back on there. When it came in, it came with all the doors attached, and then when you go to flip it, before you flip it, you have to take the doors off. So I'll go ahead and close that down, and then I'll just do it like that, just for temporary, to keep it out of my way. Grabbing the other door here. I don't want to scratch my equipment up, so I'm going to set it down there real carefully. Same thing, just set it up here like this. Grab the first screw, put it through. And then slowly line it up. And like I said, just going to make sure it's threading, and then I'm going to stop. Okay, so this is the last one. And once I do this one, once it takes, then I'm going to go ahead and tighten it all the way down. In a perfect world, you do one corner at a time and then switch to the opposite side, similar to how you would do a set of tires. All right, and then we just line that up. Looks like get it lined up, and there's a little bit of a notch on there, and then close it down. So just like that. And so pretty much everything really is step by step. There's nothing really difficult here, and it didn't take that much time. I did take my time and, you know, go through real carefully. I wasn't gonna rush it too much. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a break on the camera here for a second, and I'm gonna get everything ready to start up, and then that way we can get it plugged in and get it started. And I actually haven't opened up the power supply yet, but here it is. So we'll be right back after I get that part taken care of and get the charcoal ready. All right, so now that we've got it all set up, I'm just gonna go over it with you for a minute and we'll wrap this video up. So basically what you've got here is you've got your charcoal basket down here. And what I'm gonna do is so that way you can get a better look at it, I'm gonna take a picture here and you can see what I'm talking about. Gonna get right, let's go back up just a little bit. Right there. All right, so I'll put that picture right up here so you can see a good look at it. And let's just start over again from the bottom. So we have the control panel down here on the bottom, and it's got all the features with the temperature and the probe and the timer, and then the Bluetooth setup. The dial here to control the temperature or the other settings. There's a 4 plugs for the meat probes, and I have it plugged into the bottom one just now. It comes with one, but if you want to buy additional ones, you can do that. And then we have the charcoal tray here and the basket inside there, and then there's a divider that goes in there so your charcoal snakes around. And then in here we have a deflector and a drip pan, or I mean a water pan. I'm assuming that it's for keeping moisture, but we haven't actually officially used it yet. And then I have the 4 shelves that come included. There's enough holes here to put in twice as many shelves. So if you wanted to pick up 4 more shelves and 8 more holders, you could do that. I don't think that it's probably the best idea. It's already a really large capacity, and plus you kind of want to have a little bit of height there. And I only plan on using 3 of the shelves. I don't plan on using the bottom one. I'm just going to use tinfoil on the bottom one, or a cookie sheet to make a drip pan. But anyway, and then there's the doors, and I started removing some of this stuff in between takes here, and they just close up like this. And then you snap that closed, and then you snap this one closed, and then you set the timer and the temperature and the timer, and it'll start running. So anyway, that will do it for this video. We will get back on this, and we'll go over all the other procedures, like how to season it, which is basically just running it. And then for a first cook, we'll probably do something pork or something like that, because I really like how the pork adds to the seasoning of a brand new smoker. It gets gets that flavor into it really fast, and then that way you can start using it for everyday items like steak and things like that. All right, thanks for watching. Links are below. The first link will be the link to the review article of this unit, and then you'll see other links for the products and stuff like that. Those are Amazon links, so if you use those, I will be compensated, and I appreciate it. Have a great day.